Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're airbrushing this purple fire. Have this in a really dark navy blue metallic. The backdrop here, I just kind of painted. This was a color I used on a Harley Davidson. But we're going to go ahead and use this as our background color. And I'm going to go over it with some realistic looking fire, but we're going to add a little bit more character to it today. You're going to check it out. I've airbrushed purple fire before. Just check out this mailbox I did a while back. We're going to be using the same technique I used on that mailbox to paint this sign Blake today. Here we're just roughing in the flames. We don't need to put in every little detail. We'll add those in as we go. The stencil I'm using is a freehand stencil, actually made by freehand. I'll have a link in the description. As I'm airbrushing this, I'm moving my stencil side to side. I'm changing the angle. I'm very careful to make sure I don't make repeat patterns. We don't want to make this look like cheese. I alternate between the stencil and freehand to try to give it that more realistic look. And that's why I'm also looking up at my reference off and on to make sure I'm painting what I see and not what I think I know. If you're wanting to make the realistic fire with the real colors, the natural colors, I actually have made a video on that, and I'll make sure I put that in the end screen, so make sure you check that video out right after this one. We're going to be using this purple candy. This is ready to spray. I'll have a link to all the products in this video in the description. Okay, when it looks like this, don't be scared. If you've watched any of my realistic fire videos, the cloudiness is just the dry spray of the candy. It is fine. It will not look hazy like that when you clear it. All you're doing is you're coloring in what you've done. This will be the back of all of the fire anyways, and then we're going to keep coming forward 2 more steps. So you just got to follow the steps and you'll see that everything will come out okay. So don't give up. If it looks cloudy, that is normal. But this is what it should look like after you get your candy purple over the top. This is probably one of the harder fires to do. We go back over all the same areas and we're just going to give it a little more detail. We'll keep adding a few more licks, but they have to stay within the purple. If you go outside of the purple, you'll have a little bit of a color shift. So we're just going to go back over this. If you were to make some new stuff, or if you don't feel comfortable, go ahead and put some SG100 or an Intercoat Clear. It's a clear base coat you can put over the top. You can ask your body shop supply store for some of that, and you might be able to get a good deal on it. So you could seal off your project with that and then just keep going step by step. But I'm all right with it. I've done it before, and I don't usually have any issues with doing it this way. So I do not have any Intercoat Clear in between. On this next layer, I'm trying to add a little more detail. I'm going just within the purple area. So I'm just trying to add a little more detail. This is the hotter part of the fire. It's not the hottest. Remember, there's still one more step after this one. So this one here, we're just putting in a little more detail, making sure we're leaving room for the hottest part of the fire. So the trick to all this is once you've got your purple and then your white, this is the trick right here. Use House of Color Pink Candy Intensifier. This stuff works really good to really make the fire pop. So we're going to go ahead, and I got some mixed in the airbrush right now. You can get that stuff ready to spray just like the other stuff. This stuff wasn't, so I put a little bit of Intercoat Clear SG100 in it. Alright, I have white base coat back in my gun again. Here we're putting in the final details, the hottest part of the fire. This would be like the yellow part of traditional realistic looking fire. If you like what you see, make sure you hit the like button. Alright, this is our Intercoat Clear. This is a clear base coat. So now I'm just going to add a little bit in here. Just like a quarter, hardly any. And then we're going to take that pink candy that we had earlier. Basically, this is going to be a really watered down pink. In a way. So. And then we're going to do some reducer. And then a trick, you put your cap on, use a part of a towel, you block the tip, you pull back, and that will bubble inside the cup, and we're basically mixing it up. You're starting to see it come out the top. This is going to be a really, really light pink. And that's what we're going for. We don't want it to be as potent as that last one was. So that's all you do different. You can run your pink ready to spray and then just use a little bit of some clear base coat. Alright, just for the sake of this, I would normally use an automotive clear, but this is just some Krylon matte sealer chalky finish clear. We're going to try to, hopefully I got enough in this can just to go ahead and show you how this will set it. Now it looks glossy right now, but it will dry flat. But that's how you make purple fire.